Our new work today is fractions. We're going to do adding and subtracting fractions today, and then we're going to do multiplying and dividing fractions, and then we've finished our topic. Okay, so when you are adding and subtracting fractions, and you can write this on the top of your page in big words, big letters, you must have a common denominator. Okay, so that means the denominator is the bottom number in the fractions. So these ones in here, the denominator is 2, 3, denominator 4 and 5 in these questions here. Those numbers have to be the same. We need to get the denominator the same so that we can add or subtract the fractions together. Now, there is a couple of different techniques that you can do to do this. I'm going to show you a method that will work for everything. But it will mean that sometimes we have to simplify things back down at the end. Okay, but it's usually easier for people to do. And this is my method. The first thing you do, to get these numbers on the bottom the same, you're going to times them together. So 2 times 3 is 6. So you're going to make a big fraction, and you're going to put a 6 on the bottom of the fraction. So we've multiplied them together. Then we have to fix up the numerators, because if you change the bottom, you've got to change the top as well to make sure that they're equivalent fractions. That's a fancy word. So what we do is we multiply diagonally. We start with the top left and we multiply down to the denominator on the right. So x times 3 is 3x. These fractions we are adding, so we're going to have a plus sign next, and then I'm going to multiply diagonally the other way. The 2 times x makes 2x. Okay, then once you've done that, that's most of the work done. All you have to do is collect up your like terms on the top. 3x plus 2x is 5x over 6. What do you think? Can we do that? All right, let's do it a few more times. So it still works for subtracting. The second one here is subtracting. We're going to times those together. 4 times 5 is 20, so a big fraction with 20 on the bottom. Then we start with the top left and multiply diagonally down. 3k times 5 is good, 15k. This time we're subtracting, so we want a minus sign there, and then we multiply the other diagonal. 4 times k is 4k. All right, then just collecting up your top. 15k minus 4k is 11k over 20. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do a couple more. Next one, we multiply. 3 times 5 is 15, so big fraction with a 15 on the bottom. Start with the top left and multiply diagonally. 4a times 5 makes 20a. We're adding again, so plus sign. Do the other diagonal. 3 times 2a. 3 times 2 is 6, so 6a. Adding together, 20a plus 6a makes 26a over 15. Okay, this next one is the one that I probably should use a different method, but I can still use my method as long as I remember to simplify my answer, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I stick to my method, I do 5 times 10, which is 50, but what I have actually made my denominator too big, but that's okay, I'll fix it up at the end. So 5 times 10 is 50, then I'm going to do 6k times 10, which is 60k, we're minusing, then we're going to do 5 times 3k, which is 15k. All right, subtracting the top, 60k minus 15k is 45k. Now, when I look at that answer, I go, they're still quite big numbers, and both of those numbers are divisible by 5. Now, some of you may not be able to see that easily. So what you can do is you can always check things in your calculator. You can't put the k in there, but you can put the numbers. You can go 45 over 50, and you go, oh, that needs to simplify down to 9 over 10. And you could have done it for any of the other ones as well. You could type those in to see if they simplify as well. So my final answer should be, let's go equals again, 9k over 10. And I'll show you, I'll check one of my other ones. Let's check the previous question. I had 26 over 15, and I pressed equals and nothing happened. So that was the right answer. There was nothing to simplify. Okay, let's look at the next one. A over 6 minus A over 9. First thing I do is I times 6 times 9 is 54. Then I'm going to times diagonally. A times 9 is 9A. Then minus 6 times A, which is 6A. 9A take away 6A is 3A over 54. Now, do we think that's the best answer? Let's check it. So we go to our calculator and we go 3 over 54 and press equals, and it actually simplifies down. Okay, so our best answer was, where was it? 1 over 18. So it's going to be 1A or just A over 18. If you put the 1 in there, I'm okay with that, but we do prefer to try and leave that out so it's as simplified as possible. Okay, and one more of these ones. 3 times 4 is 12. Then doing the diagonals, we're going to do 2x times 4. 2 times 4 is 8x plus 3 times x is 3x. Add them together. 8 plus 3 makes 11x over 12. Is that going to simplify? Type it in if you're not sure. 11 over 12, yeah, 11 is a prime number, so unless the bottom number can divide by 11, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so that's it. I would be very, very happy if everyone's comfortable with those questions. There is a challenge question here. Ashley, what's up? Not for adding, but subtracting it does. Because if you reverse it for subtracting, you'll end up with a negative number. So it's just always easy to do left, down, and then there's no mistake. Okay, so this is a challenge question, but we still have the skills that we can do this question. So if we get a chance today, there is a couple in the exercise that we can give these ones a go. Let's see how we go with this. All right, so the method is the same. The reason this is a challenge is because the top has 2 things on there, which means I'm going to have to do some brackets and some expanding. But 8 times 5. Big, you need a really big fraction for this one. 8 times 5 is 40. Now, when I times the top left down with that 5, because there's 2 things on the top, I need to multiply the 5 with all of that m minus 4, which means I'm putting it in brackets, which means I can expand those brackets on the next line. All right, now we're going to do plus, and we're going to multiply the other diagonal. We're going to do the 8 times by the m plus 6. Okay. Now, I have got my denominator. I've pushed it all together, but I want to expand out the top and see if I can tidy it up a little bit. So expanding, we practiced this earlier today. We're going to do 5 times m, which is 5m, then minus 5 times 4, which is 20. Move on to the second bracket. We're going to have plus 8 times m is 8m plus 8 times 6, or 6/8, are 48. All over 40 still. Okay, but there's still more because now I can look for some like terms. Are there like terms? Yeah, 5m and 8m. They will go together. And also the minus 20 and the 48, they're constants. They could go together. What is 5 plus 8? 13m. Then we want to do minus 20 plus 48. Feel free to use your calculators. minus 20 plus 48 is a positive 28. Good. All over 40. And that's it. That wasn't too bad, was it? Great. That was the challenge question. All right, so here is our stuff for the day.